Hey, what's up? I'm a typical kid from a typical town. I'm a boy.
And I'm just a typical girl. My family, I could have one parent at home or maybe both.
I'm any color a person can be. You get the idea.
It doesn't matter who I am for this story. I'm every kid.
Like most people, I know the difference between right and wrong. But as for always doing the right thing,
I have to tell you, it's not always that simple.
let me tell you a story.
Let me tell you a story.
Let me tell you a story.
It's a simple story, but a good one, so hear me out.
I was on the playground hanging out with some really good friends. We like each other. We like the same clothes. We like the same TV shows.
Anyway, we're outside the school, and we see this kid who we don't know. They're dressed a bit differently than the rest of us, and they look confused. We go over to the kid and ask who they are. Turns out they just moved to town. We're standing there just looking at the kid like they're a piece of artwork in a museum.
I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm glad I'm not that kid.
Just then, someone in the group said something kind of mean to the kid. Actually, it wasn't super mean, but you could tell the new kid was feeling like everyone was looking at them.
Here's what happened. My friend says, oh my gosh, where did you go get those clothes? Are you like trying to be different or something? Everyone looked at the new kid and it was really awkward. I think a few kids laughed.
Now, I'm not a super brave person, and I'll tell you right now, this is no super kid story.
This is no super kid story.
This is no super kid story.
But I could tell that the new kids' feelings were hurt. They didn't know what to say, and so they just shrugged, and that's it.
That's not the end of the story. It gets better. I had a teacher last year who was fond of saying, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
I never really thought too hard about that, but as I walked back to the classroom, the saying just kept popping into my mind.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. But what could I do? I didn't want my own friends to hate me. I was too scared to say anything. To do something or not, at that moment, I just didn't have the guts. However, in class that afternoon, I was sitting right near the new kid, and I looked over at her. She obviously wasn't prepared for class, and I could tell this because she didn't even have a pencil. I was just starting to think about what kind of kid doesn't come prepared for class when that saying popped up into my mind again. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. I realized I had an extra pencil, and so I just offered it to the new kid.
She looked at me kind of funny at first, but then a small smile came to her face. She took it and said thanks.
What happened next is the best part of the story.
I looked at my friends who were staring at us and they smiled. Actually, one of my friends gave her an eraser as well. That made me feel really good.
Now, I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
And I admit I wasn't being super kid when I offered the pencil.
However, I will say that doing this little act of kindness really made me feel good as well.
I'm starting to understand what no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted means. It means it doesn't take much to be nice.
It's actually just as easy as being mean. The results are way better.
So, what's the moral of this story? I think it means that kindness starts with me and moves out to others.
It's a ripple of niceness, like throwing a pebble into the water and watching as the waves move out from the center.
These waves of kindness, well, they start with me.
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 Me. Me. Me.
These ripples, they continue to go out through everybody they touch.
The more kindness I do, the more kindness I see. Ride the wave of kindness.
Ride the wave!